Hello, everyone. This is Corolla with Yewno, here to give you a research example regarding bioethanols and agave. Research is being done in the subject area, and I've had some clients request this video. So an area of research in many science programs is finding new organic methods of creating fuel, bioethanols in particular. And I'm going to type in biofuels right here for us. So chemically speaking, of course, bioethanol and ethanol are the same compound, as the chemical formula is identical. And bioethanol is considered to be made through a more eco-friendly process than strict ethanol, which is fossil fuel. And then, of course, they're blended with gasoline to give us a fuel. And plants grown specifically for any type of biofuel are not ideal due to the energy required, environmental impacts, and emissions associated with harvest and transport. So a good case scenario would be to use a plant that is readily available and can be transformed into biofuel in a responsible fashion. So research is looking at agave, a genus of monocots and popularly known for making tequila. Well, that would be the agave azul plant, but it may also have use as a bioethanol. So let's see what we can find in our research on Yewno Discover that shows connections between biofuel, ethanol, and agave plants. So I entered biofuel in our search box. I selected it from the list of concepts, and we've generated a knowledge graph. And here are all sorts of concepts that are connected to biofuel. And we can take a look at renewable resources, which have a lot of connections. We can take a look at energy development, low carbon fuel standards. We can look at ethanol right here. So if we want to take a look at ethanol, we will create a new concept in our knowledge graph. And I'm going to expand that. We have the definition here of ethanol, and I'm going to expand the concept. So we'll generate a new knowledge graph with both ethanol and biofuels. And take a look at that. So there's a lot of connections here. And I want to add agave into the mix. So I'm going to hit search again. I'm going to type in agave. And here's agave. And again, we'll get a new knowledge graph that has the three concepts: biofuel, ethanol, and agave. And we have connections between agave and ethanol. We have connections between agave and biofuel. And then there's all sorts of other things to do with agave, and we can create connections between any of these and the other concepts over here. If we want to hypothesize that agave nectar can be connected to ethanol fuels, for example, we can create a connection there, and I'll show you how that's done. For right now, I'd like to take a quick look at the connection between agave and ethanol, and I'm going to click on this string here. So there are various related concepts here, and then there are documents that support these particular concepts. And you can sort these by date range, and you can take a look at one of these, at any one of these, and for example, this one here, 2015 Public Library of Science from PLOS, we have the most relevant portion of the article that deals with ethanol and agave will be revealed. And you can see here that it talks about how agave leaves that are discarded as waste, and they could be produced, could be fermented and turned into a biofuel. So this might be an article of interest, and you can just select it as that. And then we can go back to the knowledge map And I want to take a look at biofuel and agave. And I'm going to click on that string. And it tells us here that our inference engine, this is all done by artificial intelligence and machine learning, that we have discovered inferences and documents, but we don't have any direct concepts that are connected. And that's an interesting area to research. So we can take a look at these documents here. And for example, this is an interesting one, exploiting the potential plants for bioenergy production on marginal lands, from Oxford University Press. And this is open access as well. So it tells us that a high annual productivity could yield about 14,000 liters of ethanol, and another 33,000 from cellulose digestion. So this might be an article of interest, and I'll select that. This puts that article into our journey so we can get that citation information later. But I want to see a connection between biofuel and agave directly. How are they related? So I'm going to go back to my knowledge map, and we've got a connection here, but no concepts that bring them together. Well, we can fix that, and we can see why would there be articles but no concepts. So first of all, I want to take a snapshot because I think this is a good screen to save all these different connections. And then I'm going to go into multi-select. And I'll select right here multiple concepts. And you can read at the top, generate the relationship between two concepts. So I'm going to click on biofuel. And then I'm going to select agave. And now, I'll select it again. Now I'm going to generate a relationship. And the relationship is going to show us how our artificial intelligence engine discovered the connection between those two concepts when there was no direct relationship. So we have biofuel and we have agave. So you can see that if we're looking, for example, at agave nectar, that is connected to glycerol, and that is connected to biofuel. We can also go from another direction. We can go to compost, which takes us to carnivorous plants, which takes us to agave. So there's all different ways you can make these connections. There's a biosequestration right here, which goes down to the cresylation acid metabolism, which takes you to agave. So this is how you would create an inference and see why are these two connected and what can we learn from that. It's displayed in the Yewno knowledge graph as part of a layer. And right here are the various layers that we have. This was the indirect relationship that we created. And to get back out into our regular searching, you need to go back to your original relationship, which is right here. And at this point, we can hit the search button and we can take away any of these search terms, or we can add additional concepts if we want to. And we can also look at our journey, which is right here. And we had saved some documents. We have our knowledge graph. So we can select these, favorite document. I'll select this one as well. And this is where we can download them. So you can download all the documents to Google Docs, and you would get the snippet and the article title. But if you really want citation information, you would want to download them as an RIS, in an RIS format, or your documents to a CSV format, so you can take your research further from this stage. You have the ability to save all your research, and what you would need to do is log in with this little avatar. And if you have not accessed Discover before, it'll ask you to create an account, and this is just with any email address so that you can save your information. And when you come back the next time, all this will be there beforehand, and you can continue your research. If you have any questions, we always have a help center right here, which you can access videos and worksheets, or you could always email me at support.yewno.com. I hope this was helpful. I wish you a good day.